Welcome to the MSP Corner podcast. Before we kick off our show, we would like to share what our main objective is at the MSP Corner. Our main goal is to help CEOs build profitable and self-sustainable IT service firms. We are not just providing tools for IT firms, we will be sitting in meetings with you to ensure your IT firm stays on track. The first area we are focused on, strategic sales. IT firms are stuck selling technology or IT support. We will provide you with the blueprint so you position your firm as an added value to your prospects. We will have framework on how to sell value so you influence the prospect into selecting your firm. The second area we see many IT firms struggle in is marketing. 90+% of businesses rely on antiquated marketing methods. The most popular choice, word of mouth. We have proven methods on how to attract the ideal prospect. Our framework will include how to become the online authority and be the business influencer for an industry. The third component to our package, scaling. IT firms walk away from opportunities because they lack the bandwidth or skill set to scale. We have lined up reputable businesses so our members can hire on-demand resources that will allow them to scale their business. The fourth area we will offer help in, selecting the right tools. In order to deliver value, you need the right tech stack. Our platform will offer information on products that are the ideal choice for MSPs. The fifth area we will offer help in is with documentation. Templates are a critical component when building an MSP. We will have contracts, proposals, SOWs, collateral, and much more in the template section. You will have every document you need to start up your managed IT service business. Thank you for tuning in. Let's go to our next podcast.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning into another podcast on the MSP Corner. I am your host, Fernando Leon. And today we have another guest, and he is the co-founder of eLeads Pro. But before we get started, I just want to go over the agenda of what we're going to discuss today. And first up is we'll give you guys a quick introduction on eLeads Pro and Jeff Kroll, the value they offer MSPs, how their software works, how eLeads Pro is different from other competitors, what MSP should expect the first month, and then driving revenue, and then we'll share the URL for you guys to check out their site and request services. Hopefully, it's a fit for many of our members on the MSP Corner. All right. So, Jeff, let me make a quick intro on you. Jeff is the co-founder of eLeads Pro, and his outreach tool has helped many of his clients with their lead generation struggles, because we all know lead generation can be a huge challenge for many. It's just not IT service businesses. This is across the board. I deal with a lot of organizations, and this is not just an MSP problem. This is a business problem. But eLeads Pro, just a quick overview on them. It's a LinkedIn outreach tool that helps build genuine connections. eLeads Pro has helped multiple businesses in various industries save more than 40 hours a week in LinkedIn outreach. The result, a significant uptick in high quality leads from LinkedIn. Now, let's get down to what your business is all about and the value you offer MSPs. Can you dive into that a little bit, Jeff? But first, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you making time for us.
Yep, and thank you for having me, Fernando. Yeah, my business is like Fernando said, eLeads Pro came up with the idea maybe 3 or so years ago, and it was born out of frustration, because the way I used to do, like if I do LinkedIn outreach, I'd have one screen that would have the CEOs I'd want to target. I'd have another screen that would have a Word doc. You spend all day cut and paste, life happens. You get a phone call from your wife or husband. Someone comes in your office. You come back to your desk. You're kind of, all right, where was I? And it just, what I did do worked well, but it never got any traction. And I'm at the stage where I don't have time every day to do outreach manually every day. Um, and that's what's needed to really do it. I mean, sending out one or two messages to CEOs or whoever you want to target on LinkedIn, it boils down to numbers. And that's how this was formed. So now what I typically deal with on a daily basis is on in my inbox within the software is people genuinely interested in what we have to offer.
Mm.
A lot has changed with LinkedIn. I'm sure a lot of your listeners, and including you, Fernando, have been around a while in business. But 3 years ago, LinkedIn used to be the wild, wild west. I mean, there was no limitations. You could write the worst copy sales stuff you've ever seen, and guess what? It'll stick because back then you could send out 2, 3, 4,000 requests a month and stuff like that. Now it's a lot different, and it boils down to really genuine communication with people. But there's getting back to what the business is about, it's about the hyper personalized multi-channel outreach. There's three ways to reach people on LinkedIn. It's either you can do the connection request where because you really can't communicate until you're connected with someone. You can do InMail, which is LinkedIn's form of email, and you can do email. So between those three, that's what we go after, and that helps people get a lot of new business coming in just because it's going out there and you're not manually have to do it.
Yeah. Interesting. And how does the software find potential prospects? How does
Sure.
that piece work? And
Yep.
I
So
and Jeff, before you dive into that, many of our listeners are visual people, so I'm going to highly recommend we have a live webinar so they get a clear visuals of how all this works because I've seen it. I've had a demo, and I just think it's a great fit for our audience. So, but I'll let you answer your question. Go ahead.
yeah, so the way we find people, it's very specific. So this is not, you randomly just sending out connection requests and messages to people on LinkedIn. What we're pros at is, I mean, obviously the software, we're pros at LinkedIn. So typically what we'll do is we'll get on a call, a typical Zoom call, and we'll go through and say, all right, Fernando, who's your ideal client? Who do you want to target? And then I know Sales Navigator and my team was like the back of our hand. So what we do is we listen and we kind of just click, click, click a few buttons, whether it's second or third degree, company location, head count, all these different filters you can put in Sales Navigator. Um, that's that's how you find the people. And then what we do from there is you cut and paste that. There's a real long URL once you find the people you're looking for, and all you do is you cut and paste that URL, you put it into our software, and it specifically targets those people. And there's only been one time I got stumped on Sales Navigator. I had a lady in the UK. She was a female business coach, and she only wanted to talk to female business owners. And I'm like, oh my gosh, are we going to do this? Because there's no filters on LinkedIn for male, female, income, zip codes. So I figured out a way to do it, and we got it to work. But yeah, so to answer your question, go to Sales Navigator. We figure out who you want to target. We take that link, we put it into eLeads, and now those people will be specifically targeted with the messages.
Nice, nice. And is there a limitation of messages that can be sent out every week or every day? Because I'm a true believer that you need to have an active campaign to get your name out there, and this needs to go out daily. But are you limited to the amount of messages that can go out every day?
Well, yes and no. I mean, you have to understand LinkedIn does have limitations, and there's actually within our software, we can dial in how many profiles do you want to view a day? How many people do you want to endorse a day? How many messages do you want to send a day? And the most important thing out of all these limits is you stay within the limits of LinkedIn. You don't go blasting out. If you want to get in trouble with LinkedIn and you want to send out 200 a day, good, go for it. But that's not the way it works. We know the limitations of LinkedIn, and The guardrails within our software prevent more than maybe 30 messages going out a day, or emails, things like that. It's all controlled within the software, because we all have to play within the sandbox of LinkedIn here.
Yeah, I know that. You're right. LinkedIn has their rules, because if you break their rules, they'll kick you out, or you'll get flagged,
Yep.
and you don't want that to happen. So your recommendation is to send out 30 leads, 30 messages per day. Is that right?
We vary it anywhere between 20 and 30 a day, something
Okay.
similar to that. Yeah, I mean, it really varies in terms of the industry and things like that. Or if LinkedIn's doing updates and things like that, we can dial it back. But you, within the software, you have full control of how many messages you want to send out a day, and we kind of guide you on that as what's best, and not to go over the limits.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Nice. That's great. That's great. So, what differentiates your model from the rest of the? Because I've seen these other type of solutions out there. What makes you guys different?
But 100% personalization, and I say that meaning right now. So our support system, what makes us different is almost on every call, if you have any questions or comments or need help, hop on a Zoom call with us. And about a year and a half ago, it used to be different. I used to, once people signed up, they'd have, you could access a chat, you could access email, and that's how support, and we got you going. And one time I was on a call, oh gosh, right before that, and I forget what software I was looking at, but they were really good at what they were telling me on the Zoom call, answered every question. I signed up, put in my credit card, and then guess what? Like,
Mm.
no humans to talk to. And just,
Yep.
once I
Yep.
got my card, I was like, oh, great, this is what we do. So about a year and a half ago, I changed that. And now, so what we've done, because the other thing I realized too early on is a lot of people don't know how to write their campaigns. So we would get, okay, write what you want to say for messages 1 through 3, and we'd get this stuff back that was like 2 pages long. And I mean, could you imagine if you're on your phone scrolling through a message, you'd scroll for like 10 minutes trying to read it. So what we've done, we figured out that, hey, we'll give our clients the wording to our most successful campaigns, and that's what we do. We give you our wording. The only thing we ask is you change it up and make it your own. And that's really the big part of it. And then where most people use this for, because you can have multiple campaigns going on with the software. So you could be, Fernando, you could even target other business owners. You could have, let's say you were hiring people, you could do an outreach to hiring people for your show, things like that. But the bottom line is this: through each one of those, if you, let's say, Fernando, you said you had a couple campaigns going, you wanted to add another one, most people will hop on a Zoom call with us and say, Jeff, hey, this is who I want to target on Sales Navigator. I only want to deal with these companies. How do I do that? And then we just, like I said, we can do that in our sleep. So I just tell you to click here, here, and here. There's your list, and away we go. So to answer your question, Fernando, it really boils down to personalization. You'll see with all these other companies out there. I mean, it's just, you put in your card, you put in your wording. You know, if you don't know how to write, you're kind of doomed from the beginning. So we learned that early on. So the bottom line is personalization with what we do.
Nice. Yeah. No. Trust me. We're we're buying software from many developers, and the level of support has become just abysmal. It's just
Right.
awful. It's
Yep.
awful. And people are getting tired of it. And I think that customer service is has fallen to the wayside with many organizations, and we're tired of it. And people aren't going to tolerate it much longer. But it's something that it's a big problem in today's market. But what are you going to do if if you're the only group out there providing the solution? You own the market, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Well, something extreme has to happen for them to solve this type of challenge. But no, I like that. I like that you guys put customer service at the top of the list here. So when you say you help them create content, so you're saying, because I'm a big believer, this is, I know, is a fact. I know this is, you cannot write a novel. You cannot write a 3, 4 paragraph introductory into your business. I tell everybody, write 1, 2, maybe 3 sentences describing the value you have to offer, and if you can, if you could have schedule a meeting, but that's about it. So you guys can help these IT service firms that also have a challenge writing messages. How do you write these messages? Is this through an engine you've built, you've integrated, or is this something that your personal individuals will write up themselves? How does that work?
No, we actually give like we depending on what industry you're in, we have all obviously a ton of different campaigns going. So depending on what your field is, we'll actually give you one of our wording. The only thing we ask is turn around and make it your own. So I mean, you could even put it into chat and just say, hey, take this and
Hmm.
make it more about what we have to offer. And as long as you reword it, then we're good to go. So that's it, and that's super important because just what you said, Fernando. Like if you don't, you can't send long messages on LinkedIn. I forget the statistics, but a good portion of people read their messages on your phone. And if you go beyond, let's say you have 5 paragraphs, could you imagine on your phone scrolling, reading all that? It's just,
Hmm.
it'll look like a novel, but on your computer, it looks like a short sentence. So the key to doing this, and I know it's really hard to do, but we're halfway decent at it, is just m- make your offering, what you're doing, be real with people. Like I said to you early on, I mean, early on it was the wild, wild west. Now it's hyper personalization. And a lot of our campaigns now, we don't put no calendar links. We get a conversation going. And that change in how we operate is made a huge difference in what we do, because what we used to do, you put your calendar link, how great we are, this is who I am. And I don't mean to be this blunt, Fernando, but no one cares what you and I do. They really don't. They want to know
Hmm.
what problems we can solve. And when you can do that in an articulate way, very concisely, that's what people get hooked. Starting genuine conversations with people, and people are so used to AI. I will even get people that'll message us back going, "Is this a real human?" We're like, "Yeah," So
Yeah.
it's just being real with people.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Uh the that personal touch will go a long way. So
Big time.
it also, believe it or not, I'm the type of person that prefers online chat over getting on the phone with somebody. But
Hmm.
that's me. So not that personalization is not 100%. I mean, there's people out there that are just like, look, what can you do for me? They want to get right down to business. Some people prefer building relationships. So you have to be able to pivot based on the requirements. So I'm a big believer in, hey, try every solution out there so you can try and what's gonna we're technically we're a metrics driven organization. We look at metrics, right? We're gonna say, hey, 90% of the people prefer that we have a Calendly link in the email, that we're getting better responses with a Calendly link in there
Hmm.
than personal requests of, oh, let's have a phone call, right? So we're
Hmm.
going to look at numbers over based on, right, opinions but everything's going to be metrics driven, and that's how people need to think. You got to look at the metrics in order to make educated decisions, because everybody has their own opinion of how things work. You got to be really careful with that, because you got to look at metrics if you're going to have any kind of success in business. You got to look at the metrics.
Well
But
said.
I love your business model. I just love it. I saw it. I saw it work for one of the CEOs that I'm helping them build out a marketing campaign. I recommended your group to them, but they already had an automation tool in place. And I already, just based on your description, I see the difference in what how you can help him with his tool that he has in place. But because I was helping him with the wording and helping him with the messaging to a specific industry.
Hmm.
But I think your tool will be a huge hit with our audience because they need it. They have a limited budget. They have I don't want to insult anybody, but they're
Yeah.
limited with creativity.
Yep.
It's just a matter of fact. They're brilliant with technology. They're great at solving problems and all that, but solving the marketing challenge, the creativity challenge, they just don't, it's just not in their brain. It's not their DNA. And that's okay. We need those people to solve the bigger problems with technology. So and that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help them with those type of challenges. But yeah, your tool, I love it. I really excited to get it in front of my audience and have you give a live webinar. So, but let me ask you another question here. What should MSPs expect in the first month of working with you?
Well, it depends what you have to offer. I mean, in your world, the IT world, people don't know what they don't know, and with the way technology is, and gosh, some of these emails you get look so real from Bank of America or whoever, and like I know this stuff inside and out, and even sometimes I'm like, oh my god, and
Mhm.
I know how to get around all that. But my point is, with your industry, oh my gosh, you
Mhm.
guys, I think it's a hot industry because so many people need your services. You just need to educate people. I mean, I
Yep.
don't know how many, I'm sure a lot of your listeners in the IT world, but I've had situations where we had a computer infected with malware and shut it down, and thank God it didn't get to the server, but they wanted money from. I mean, it's just you don't realize there's an issue until you're in one, and most of the time when you're in one, it's kind of too late. So,
Yep.
uh,
Yep.
with that being said, to answer your question, it really depends on what they're offering. I mean, we have a 14-day free trial, so there's that's it. I mean, it's a 14-day free trial, and we've never had anyone not go beyond the free trial in 3 years because the results you get are real.
Mm.
What do I mean by real? Are you going to close a deal in 14 days? I don't know. I mean, if you're selling something inexpensive, maybe so. But what you will see, and why we've had every single person that has signed up go beyond the free trial, is because you're going to get results back in the every day with people interested in what you have to offer. As long as you follow our cues on, hey, keep your messaging short, and two things make this work, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Are you targeting the right people? We know that's going to be us because we'll help you with that. And two, is your wording on point? And at the end of working on the first month with us, actually in the first 14 days, you'll see people reaching back out to you going, hey, I'm interested. Tell me more, or whatever the call to action is. So hopefully I answered your question for you.
Yeah. No, no, no. You did. You did. No, I agree with you. This has everything to do with getting the right message, and the size of the message is really key in a successful campaign. So I'm glad you guys are on the same wavelength as myself, because I can't even explain how many emails I get from individuals that they're describing everything they do, and I'm like, I don't care what you do. What can you do for me, right?
E-
It's never customer centric. The messaging has to be customer centric, or you're just going to lose them immediately. So
Well,
I'm glad we see eye to eye on that.
let's keep this between you and your people, because
Uh-huh.
the more people that are articulate, the right short, concise messages are the ones that are gonna stand ahead. And to your point, Fernando, too, that uh, you know. I get stuff every day via email and LinkedIn, and it starts off with who they are, who they
Yep.
work for, how great they are.
Yep.
Hey, like, don't care. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, when we write stuff, typically the first sentence with what we do is you make an observation. Show your people or the people you're marketing towards that you understand the arena. And probably the
Mm-hmm.
biggest thing in the message is share a problem or insight. If your people in the IT world reach out to, other clients looking for certain, and you can articulate a real problem that most companies have in the IT
Mm-hmm.
world, that's what
Mm-hmm.
gets people hooked, and then build credibility, meaning like we've had thousands of clients that have done this, solved the same problem. And then it just, yeah, to your point, it's writing things a certain way and start a conversation with people. Does it take a
Yep.
little bit longer? You bet. But guess what?
Yep.
The trust is built up, you communicate, and we've closed a ton of deals that way.
Yeah, one concept that you just mentioned is critical in any success is building trust. You have to build trust in order to establish some type of engagement and rapport, right? You just can't
Mhm.
walk, you can't just send out one email and expect somebody to say, "Hey, I saw this and they're going to research you. They're going to look at your website. They're going to see what type of expertise you offer. So you got to have the content in place to this to so people or businesses can determine you are the expert in a specific area.
Yep.
So one other question I wanted to ask you was, how does the software drive revenue for an MSP? What do you mean by that? I saw that on your
So
site there.
yeah. So what I mean, at the end of the day, when we put good messaging together, and we
Mhm.
have the people that we want to target on LinkedIn, and we reach out to those people, that's what drives the business. I mean, if we're getting people to you going, "Hey, Fernando, I want to sign up. How do I do this? How do I do that?" Once we get them to you, it's your job to close the deal. So driving revenue means we'll get you people in, like waking up every morning, having people not just interested, but genuinely interested in what you have to offer, and having real
Mhm.
conversations going. That that leads to revenue, because as the conversation progresses, you do, little searching to see what the issues are within clients and stuff like that. And if you're the solution, then you sign people up. So driving revenue means starting the communication, finding problems, and then people reaching back out to you wanting to do business with you.
One more question I had for you. And what is your approach on these outreach campaigns? Do you have a more of a solicitation approach, or is it more about education? Is it building rapport? What would you say the strategy is?
100% building rapport. I mean,
Okay.
even on some of our campaigns that we have the highest communicate not a communication, I'm blanking out here, but response rate with. Like
Hmm.
I remember one of the messages I have is, once someone accepts my connection request, it'll say something like, "Thanks for connecting. I see the company name, has a LinkedIn presence. Nice."
Hmm.
That's it. I'm
Hmm.
just, I'm saying, "Hey, good job." And then, not until message 3 or 4 do I start talking about in the outreach what we do. Most of the time, between the first couple messages, people will reach back out to us going, "Hey, thank you," and or let's book a call. And once people respond to you within the platform, it stops the campaign, which is what you want it to do. But to answer your question, just being real in the conversations, being conversational. Don't cut and paste stuff. Just be real, and the more real you are with people, the better response you get. At the end of the day, that's how it works.
All right. All right. I like it. I like it. Yeah, no, no. I think you guys are going to be a big hit on our platform. And I'm excited to schedule a webinar with you guys so we can get you guys in front of more individuals. So, but I want to share your link with everybody. So if they want to visit your site and get some information before the webinar, they can go to www.eleadspro. That's E as in Edward, L as in Lion, E as in Edward, A as in Apple, D as in David, S as in Sam, pro.com. Jeff, I really appreciate you making time for us today. Any last words you'd like to share?
No, I appreciate you having me on. I think in today's world right now. Verizon had an outage the other day. I mean, it's just there's so much going on where people need IT services. You just need people need to get the message out there that this is real, and people need problem solving from you guys. So no,
Oh
that's
yeah.
about it. I think you got a good thing going here, Fernando.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I appreciate again your time, and I just want to share a couple more words before I sign off here. But to everybody listening, thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to sign up to be a member on the MSP Corner. Go to www.mspcorner.com. Please share our link with the CEO who will find our information beneficial to their business. All right, guys, have a great day.
Thank you for listening, and don't forget to sign up to be a member on www.mspcorner.com. Please share our link with the CEO who will find our information beneficial to their business. Have an awesome day.